Hi, I'm Libby Castillo, Director of Strategic Communications at Goodwill San Antonio, and this is the More Than the Store podcast. In this episode, we're honoring Disability Pride Month with Michael Johnson, a medical records associate who has built a remarkable 20-year career at Goodwill San Antonio. He shares his journey, the challenges he's overcome, and how meaningful employment has helped him grow and succeed. Michael, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're so excited to have you today. And you know what? I want to take it back to the beginning. How did you first come to Goodwill, and what do you remember most about those days?
The way I came to Goodwill was I was working at Kelly Air Force Base for a government contractor, and they downsized the contract after Kelly closed. And so I was looking for a job, and I saw an ad in the paper for a dispatcher for Goodwill. So I applied, and with my experience as a tractor-trailer driver and dispatch, I alternated between the two at Kelly/Lackland. I was hired.
Wonderful. So that was more than, 20 years ago? Around 20 years ago?
More than 20 years ago. It was about 22 years ago.
Okay.
And then I was hired, and my first job site was at South Campus on Morrison Road.
Okay.
And I was the dispatcher. I was told that I was the first ever titled dispatcher that Goodwill had ever had.
Tell me what a dispatcher was.
This dispatcher managed the transportation aspect of the company.
Okay.
At that time, we had 6 trucks and 2 tractor trailers, and I dispatched the drivers to the various stores and donation stations to pick up and deliver the donations and the merchandise to the stores.
Okay. So you started at our donated goods and retail department.
Yes, in
Okay.
retail.
So, your career took an unexpected turn after a knee injury, and that significantly impacted your mobility. Can you tell us what happened and how did that change your career?
Well, actually, I was at home and I was cutting my grass, and I don't know if I stepped off wrong or something, but I twisted my knee and I tore my meniscus.
Oh.
And because of my size, they weren't able to do my size and my weight. They weren't able to perform a surgery for correction. So over time, it became worse and worse. And the job that I was doing at the time required a lot of mobility.
Okay.
And so I recognized that I wasn't going to be able to continue the job effectively, not being mobile. So then I requested from one of the managers if there was any contracts coming available. And I was able to transfer to the government contract on Nacogdoches.
Okay. And is that the position you still hold now, or
That's the position I still hold now. So I was when the contract opened, it was a brand new contract. I was one of the first hires at the beginning of the contract.
Wow. Do you recall what year that was, or how many years ago that was?
I think the contract has been in effect 13 years.
Okay. I don't think a lot of our listeners know that, we have all of these different avenues for individuals to go to. And I think that's something that's truly special about Goodwill is that, you had this injury that you weren't able to perform your job anymore, but you reached out to a manager, and I take it that the value of work that you provide, they wanted to find somewhere else for you.
It felt good because they were taking care of me because of my tenure at the time and my work ethic. I pride myself in whatever I do, and I was able to just transfer over.
Okay. Speaking of your work ethic, I believe it was in 2024, you received Goodwill's Servant Leadership Award out of the entire organization.
Yes, ma'am.
I know you're humble about that, but how did that moment feel when you found out that you were going to get that award?
I was very humble. They told me in a huddle, they called a special huddle to announce the Servant Leadership Award. And I was just sitting there because I just knew that it wasn't going to be me. And I was just sitting there, and they said, Michael Johnson. And I looked, I said, what? And everybody started clapping, and I started crying because that's the first time I had ever received such a distinguished award.
Yeah, and so they announced it there at the huddle, but then we also celebrated you at our team member appreciation, our
Team
annual,
member appreciation.
and you
Yes.
had your wife of 50 years next to you.
Yes, ma'am.
How'd that feel? How did she feel about it?
She was proud. I was proud. I was very humbled by the experience and the accommodations that they provided for me. Because of my mobility issues, they made it very easy. And I'm awestruck by the kindness and the respect that the management and my coworkers give me.
Yeah. Speaking of that, you did tell me that you had an illness in 2023 that really affected your time at work, and that you found support through your team and your management. Can you explain a little bit about that?
The management staff went above and beyond to accommodate my mobility issues. I was very sick, and when I returned to work, on one instance, I returned too fast, and I ended up being carted out by the EMS.
Oh my goodness.
And they accommodated me again. I came back to work, and the people that I work with, the management's team, they take care of me. I have accommodation for parking, and the people I work with are just wonderful. I enjoy them. In many instances, I have people that are close to me that I just flat out love.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear. And those people that you work with, have you worked with them for a really long time as well?
Well, everybody that I started with is not currently still there, life, and they moved on. I think there's maybe 8 or 9 of us left from the original beginning of the contract. And so we
Wow.
have a special bond, and we'll tell everybody we were the first.
What is that like for you? You haven't worked in another organization in over 20 years, but how do you think that differentiates from maybe other organizations?
I think it was very special in the way they treat their workers. It's been a very good journey for me. Of course, with it, as in anything in life, it has its ups and downs, but the positivity far outweighs the downs. I've had a great time at Goodwill. It's been a fantastic journey.
I'm glad to hear it. So, going back to what you do now, you digitize military medical records. For people who have never heard about this work, can you explain kind of what your team does and why is it so important?
What we do is when members exit the military, they send their records to us, the medical and dental records to us, and there's a process that we go through. It goes through like 6 or 7 steps, and we digitize the records and upload them into a government program that allows them access to their records. For instance, when they file a claim at the VA, the records were originally stored in St. Louis, and sometimes it would take 6 weeks to 3 months to retrieve those records.
Oh, wow.
Because they were paper records. Right. And then the Army and the military establishment decided that they wanted to digitize the records. So that's where we came in. We started scanning and digitizing the records, uploading them into a program, and then by using identifications from the soldier members, the records were at their fingertips on the computer. So that changed 3 weeks to 3 months to instantaneous.
Wow.
So it made them ready, available. It's been a wonderful experience in assisting our military members who go out and sacrifice their service for the country, and it's a wonderful experience, especially since I've had 4 brothers who served in the military, and I got to experience the problems that they had in getting records and getting their benefits. So for me, it was special knowing that the new members that are exiting the military won't have that trouble anymore.
Yeah, so you kind of saw it firsthand how what you do provides services for our service members.
Yes, it's an excellent service. It was a great adjustment for the government and the military.
Great. Thank you so much for doing that. They love what they do, and they're very careful with what they do.
Yes, we're very careful. Like I said, we go through several verification steps to make sure we have the right things.
Well, shout out to the team out there for all the hard work that they do. I always love visiting them. So, this episode is being released during Disability Pride Month, and you've mentioned some of the accommodations that Goodwill helps you with and how your team supports you. But what do you hope people understand about creating opportunities for individuals with disabilities in the workplace?
We can be productive if given an opportunity. And Goodwill has certainly given many members of the community the opportunity to continue to be productive. It's a wonderful program. I don't know where I would be had they not given me the opportunity to continue on in the workforce. So it's something that needs to be recognized and published more, that people with disabilities can be just as productive as anybody else.
Thank you for that. That is why we are doing this segment today. And you are part of the Ability One program, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell our listeners a little bit about that?
The Ability One program, they take people with challenges, whether it's mental, physical, and they incorporate them into the workforce. And we have duties that are tailored to our abilities. And because everybody has a different disability, and they find where you fit, and they give you the opportunity to continue to be productive.
Yeah, that's wonderful. We've done stories on other individuals who are part of the Ability One program, and everybody's alike in that they say that just because we have this quote unquote disability doesn't mean we cannot be productive. So it's always enlightening to hear other people's aspects. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's been a wonderful journey.
Speaking of which, what's kept you here at Goodwill so long?
The people, the camaraderie, the kindness of the people, of course, the paycheck. It's a good place to work.
So one final question. If you could go back and talk to the Michael who walked into Goodwill 20 years ago on his very first day, what would you tell him?
Enjoy the journey, because there is a lot to enjoy. It's been a great work experience. Pay attention and continue to strive to grow and give your best.
I love that. So the reason we do this podcast, and it's called More Than a Store, is because people only know mostly Goodwill as the stores and donation stations. So thank you for shedding some light on the other things that we do here at Goodwill, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It's been my pleasure and my honor.
Throughout your career, you've embraced change, overcome challenges, and found purpose in serving others. And through your work, you're helping veterans get faster access to the care and benefits they've earned. A mission many people don't even realize that we do here at Goodwill. Thank you for sharing your story, and thank you for everything you do for Goodwill San Antonio. And thank you to our listeners for joining us for today's episode of More Than the Store. For more information about our programs and the individuals we serve, visit goodwillsa.org, and don't forget to follow us on Goodwill SA on social media. I'm Libby Castillo. We'll see you next time.